On the morning he arrived, the city felt different. The sky wore a brighter blue, the air shimmered with promise, and whispers moved faster than the wind. A foreign prince had come, so they said. A billionaire from a distant land where palaces sat on hills and wealth flowed like rivers. No one questioned the rumor. He looked the part. His suits were cut like royalty. His accent curved around words like silk. His smile, oh, his smile, made people believe in things they had long stopped hoping for. And that was how he wanted it. Because some men don't steal with force, they steal with belief. Isabella Moreau was admired in ways that often felt lonely. She was a multimillionaire by 42, self-made, disciplined, and kind. Her real estate empire stretched across cities. Her investments whispered her name in boardrooms, and charities spoke of her generosity with reverence. But at night, in the quiet mansion overlooking the sea, Isabella sat alone. Her success had cost her dearly. A broken engagement in her youth, friends who faded as her ambitions grew, men who loved her money more than her heart, or feared her strength. She had learned to protect herself with contracts, lawyers, and walls no one could climb, except the prince. They met at a charity gala. Of course they did. He stood near a marble column, holding a glass of champagne he barely sipped, as if wealth had bored him long ago. "My name is Prince Alaric," he said, bowing slightly, "from the kingdom of Billionaire." The name meant nothing, and that made it magical. He spoke not of money, but of art, legacy, loneliness. He spoke of being tired of being admired for his riches, instead of his soul. Isabella laughed softly. "So, you know how that feels, too." And in that moment, her heart, long guarded, shifted. Prince Alaric did not rush her. That was his brilliance. He sent handwritten notes. He remembered small things. He listened, truly listened, when Isabella spoke of her childhood, her fears, her dreams of building schools in forgotten places. He never asked for anything, not once. He flew her to places she had only seen in magazines, private islands, ancient cities, hotels where staff bowed as they passed. He made calls in foreign languages that sounded official, powerful. When she asked about his kingdom, he sighed. "My wealth is complicated," he said. "Old money, trusts, family disputes. I prefer a simpler life." It sounded noble. It sounded honest. And Isabella, who had built an empire by trusting numbers, began trusting feelings instead. Love doesn't ask all at once. It asks in pieces. A small investment here to avoid taxes in my country. A signature there, temporary until my lawyers arrive. A shared account for convenience while we travel. Isabella hesitated. She always did. But Prince Alaric never pressured her. He looked hurt instead. "Do you not trust me?" he asked, quietly one night, eyes full of sadness. "I thought what we had was beyond money." Guilt is a powerful lockpick. She began transferring assets, not because she was foolish, but because she was in love. And love, when unguarded, can silence even the sharpest instincts. Her advisors warned her. Her assistant begged her to slow down. But Isabella had waited her whole life for someone who saw her not as a bank account, but as a woman. She refused to believe she was wrong. They planned a wedding that would unite two worlds. A royal ceremony in Billionaire, guests flown in on private jets, news outlets buzzing with anticipation. Days before the departure, Prince Alaric grew anxious. "There are complications," he said. "Political tensions. My family's lawyers insist assets be consolidated under one name, mine, for safety." Isabella felt a knot in her stomach. But then, he knelt. Right there in her garden, beneath the old olive tree. I would give you my crown if I could, he said. Trust me, just this once more. She did, and with one final signature, she handed over everything she had built in a lifetime. The flight to Valimir never happened. Prince Alaric disappeared the night before. His phone was disconnected. His social accounts vanished. His assistants, ghosts. At first, Isabella laughed nervously. Then she cried. Then she screamed. Lawyers uncovered the truth like a slow, brutal autopsy. There was no kingdom, no royal family, no inherited wealth. Prince Alaric was a professional con artist, a man who moved across countries, changing names like coats, leaving behind ruined lives and empty accounts. He had taken everything and vanished into the world. Isabella sold her mansion, then her cars, then her clothes. She moved into a small apartment with bare walls and a view of nothing special. The world that once applauded her now whispered, how could she be so stupid? She should have known better. But pain is heavier when carried alone. She stopped attending events, stopped answering calls. For months, she barely left her bed. The woman who once built cities now struggled to rebuild herself. One morning, Isabella walked past a school she had once planned to fund. Children laughed behind iron gates. She sat on a bench and cried, not for the money, but for the woman she had been before fear replaced hope. And something shifted. They took my wealth, she whispered to herself, but they did not take my wisdom. She began speaking publicly, not as a mogul, but as a survivor. She warned others. She told her story without shame. Slowly, doors opened again. People listened, and trust, real trust, began to return. Years later, Isabella stood on a stage, not wealthy, but whole. I learned, she told the audience, that love should never demand the surrender of your identity, that anyone who asks for everything will leave you with nothing. Somewhere, the fake prince lived with stolen gold, but Isabella lived with something greater, truth, strength, and a crown no thief could ever steal. Love should never rush you into silence. Real love invites questions, not guilt. Charm is not character. Actions over time reveal the truth words cannot hide. Protect your independence, emotionally and financially. Trust is built, not transferred. Being kind does not mean being careless. Wisdom and compassion can coexist. Losing everything is not the end. Losing yourself is. As long as you remain, rebuilding is possible.